Hey guys, welcome to the channel if you're new, welcome back if you're a subscriber. Special thanks to all my patrons, my name's Neil, and today we are watching Labyrinth. That's right, Labyrinth won on my latest poll on Patreon. Thanks to everyone who participated in that vote. Thanks for telling me what you guys want to see, that's why I'm here. There's so much that I haven't seen over the years, over the decades in different genres. I put a poll out, what 80s classic that I've missed should I see next? Labyrinth won, so here I am, checking out a movie with puppets, and I honestly really don't know what the story is. I think it's supposed to be a kid's movie, but it's also 1986 and puppets, and therefore there could be some weirdness, there could be some darkness. I don't know whether it's supposed to be scary or funny or what, but I'm really curious because it's one of these movies that people talk about so fondly 30 plus years after the fact. This was right in my target demo when I was a kid. When this came out, I was 12 or 13. I feel like that was probably well within the demographic that they were targeting, but for whatever reason I didn't see it, and we're making up for that now. I have very little in the way of expectation for this movie, so let's jump right into it, everyone. This is 1986's Labyrinth. What do I know about this movie? I know Sting is in it, I know Jennifer Connolly's in it. That might be all I know. I know Jim Henson is associated with it. But did Henson direct, or did he just do the Muppets? The puppets? The puppetry? Oh, it's Lucasfilm, too. Oh, it's Jim Henson film. Okay. I don't know what it is about this music, but it is so clearly mid-80s. So, Goals and Whitmire, I've actually worked with because I have done a Muppet movie. We'll talk about it in the post-credits, so stick around for that. And Terry Jones wrote it for Monty Python. Crazy.
You have no power over me.
The Shaggy Dog.
Oh, Merlin.
Named Merlin.
Oh no, Merlin. I don't believe it. It's 7 o'clock. Come on. Come on.
Where does this girl live?
Ah, Sarah, you're home. We were worried about you.
I can't do anything right, can I?
Oh, drama queen.
She treats me like a wicked stepmother in a fairy story no matter what I say.
Is she the stepmother? She's dressing like a fairy stepmother. Sendak, nice.
Your dangers untold.
The Labyrinth.
Someone save me. Someone take me away from this awful place. She called on the goblins for help. I mustn't say. I wish. I wish.
That's going to say it.
Wherever you may be, take this child of mine far away from me.
She didn't say the words.
Excellent. That rubbish. It doesn't even start with I wish.
I wish.
Did you say it?
Good fidgety, fussy baby performance.
I wish the goblins would come and take you away. Right now.
And he stops crying.
You alright?
Well, windows open, lights don't work. Oh. What on earth? Did they leave something in Toby's place? This would be freaky if you were like a kid. Look at them all.
You're the Goblin King. I want my brother back, please.
What hair?
Please. Where is he?
You know very well where he is. You're no match for me, Sarah.
But I have to have my brother back.
You have till midnight.
is there, in my castle. Do you still want
What a
to look
labyrinth.
Don't you understand
Back when
that I
matte
can't?
paintings were totally
What
fine.
is he?
I'm Hoggle. Who are you?
Sarah,
That's what I thought.
do you know where the door to the labyrinth is?
Oh, maybe.
Okay. We have a door. We have a start. Something has eyes on the wall. Good old-fashioned googly eyes all over the place. I feel like we're going to break out into a synth solo anytime now. Used a ton of glitter.
Things just goes on and on.
Run into that matte painting at the end.
Oh. Hello.
This is so weird.
You try walking through it.
Is this platform 9 3/4 kind of stuff?
Go on.
Hey.
Hey, hang on. Don't go that way. Never go that way.
Oh. Thanks.
If she'd have kept on going down that way, she'd have gone straight to that castle.
That would have been the way straight to the castle. Girls gotta learn how to talk to the creatures of the labyrinth better. Okay, the kid that played that little kid is traumatized for life after this scene.
You remind me of the babe. Babe with the power. Power of voodoo. You do. Remind me of the babe. Dance, magic dance.
This is so bizarre. She's finally smart enough to... Oh no! Ah, let's just throw the baby doll. Jesus, this is so bizarre.
One of them leads to the castle at the center of the labyrinth, and the other one leads to certain death.
Ooh.
I think I'm getting smarter. This is a piece of cake.
Certain death!
We're helping hands. Well then, come on, which way?
This is so creepy and weird. I mean, it's super clever and artistic, but that was so creepy if you were a kid. That's creepy for a 48-year-old man.
This is an oubliette. Labyrinth's full of them. You don't even know
It's
what
French for
oubliette is.
forget.
Do you?
Yes, it's a place to put people
Yeah.
to forget about them.
If you help me solve the labyrinth, I'll give you this. You like it, don't you?
So,
Oh. Okay.
what is that anyway?
Plastic.
Whoa. Here we go.
Well, can't be right all the time.
That was fun. That was really clever.
Oh no, the cleaners!
What?
Run!
That's terrifying. I wanted to see more of the guys behind it. That's hilarious.
Well, I'm not afraid. Things aren't always what they seem in this place.
What am I watching? This is so bizarre. I mean, it's amazing puppetry and creations. The imagination is insane. What is up with this rock? It just keeps coming back. It's definitely got some Monty Python vibes. Just the absurdity of it all.
That's right, Ludo.
Ludo.
I'm
He's
Sarah.
huge.
It's very rude to stare.
I'm sorry, I was just wondering which door to choose.
What?
See, the crazy thing is if you made this today, that whole knocker would be like instantly CG. but I'm 99% sure that was entirely practical, and it just really, really well executed puppetry.
Imagine a big thing like you being scared.
Like, whoever's puppeting this creature, too, must
Nothing
be
to be afraid of.
huge. I was trying to figure out if you needed, like, 2 people in there, but I don't think that was it. There's just, like, some really well-articulated limbs and head. Oh, I love these forced perspectives. That's crazy.
And, where are you going?
Like, that shot only worked from that precise start mark. So cool.
Look at this.
What is it?
It's an apple.
It's a present.
It ain't gonna hurt the little lady, is it?
Or is it a
Now,
peach?
you don't think a young girl could ever like a repulsive little scab like you, do you?
Well,
I'm trying to not talk about Bowie's groin area, but it's hard to avoid in those pants.
don't matter.
You'll give her that hoggle, or I'll
It's a
give you
very
the
interesting
stinking
costume
little bottle of
choice.
eternal stench before you can
Especially at these low-angle shots on Hoggle.
And hoggle.
What's going on?
Jesus!
What do you want?
This is so frickin' fever dream trippy. Interesting. I wonder why they shot this on green screen, because they clearly did. They're comping that background in. Not perfectly. Almost feels like this segment's an afterthought or a reshoot or something they added after original principal filming. What is going on? Well, I mean, this is clearly why they had to do this against green screen, because of all the removable body parts. There's definitely some green screen puppeteers moving this stuff around. Ooh, crazy. Oh, he's gonna... The Prince of Stench. Looks pretty stinky. Oh, they had fun making this. And the Foley artists especially had fun with this.
Not my part without my permission.
Smell bad.
Let go of my saucer. No one shall pass this way without my permission.
Well, then give them permission.
Well, may we have your permission?
Whoa. Rickety bridge scene.
No fear, sweet lady.
What is he? He's just calling a rock?
Sure, Rock's friend.
What is going on?
Come out now.
Oh, it's Merlin the dog. The party grows.
Excuse us, thank you.
How do you make a functioning puppet ride a dog?
Maybe we can find some berries or something.
Yeah. Berries would be a safe option in a magic forest.
Yeah.
Hoggle,
No.
thank you. Hoggle, what have you done?
What have you done, naughty Hoggle? Either Bowie's really good with the glass balls himself, or they hid somebody very good with them right behind him very well. That was in her room back home. Bowie wrote all the songs and music. Not the score, but the songs. And it feels like every time we do one, we just sort of break into a super trippy music video that's only tangentially related to the story. This is crazy. The masks are awesome. Ooh. She broke herself out of the glass ball. Into what? Hoggle's junkyard?
She'll never forgive me.
Get off my back! Why don't you look where you're going?
What an awesome character.
Why don't you come in here?
We're just right back in her room. The Escher poster is a smart choice. It doesn't fit with the rest of her decor, but it certainly makes us feel all upside down and twisted in the labyrinth. It wasn't a dream. 20 minutes to midnight.
Daddy's back, okay?
He's not.
There's nothing you want out there, no. Oh, no. Right there you go.
Yep. Turning you
Oh, yes. Charlie Bear.
into just another one of them.
There's Charlie Bear.
It's all junk.
Huh?
It is! I have to save Toby!
My lady!
Interesting, really cool set design there.
I shall fight you all to the death.
Please, Dennis, for my sake.
I'm going to say it's too late for him to be quiet.
What is that?
Oh, that's cool. It's like a giant metal golem.
Get out of there!
Thanks for your help.
Well, what have we waited
Well, that was easy. You betraying little sneak.
Go, Jared. Oh, piece of cake.
That's better. Don't worry, Ambrosius. I think we've got them surrounded.
Oh, it's all so much fun. The set builds for this are so much fun. Rocks are his friends. Yeah. Bowling. Let's get a few bowling shots here.
Okay, I take it back. Run for your lives!
Run for your lives.
I get fired!
Oh, the poor little cannonball. We just crushed a little goblin with a giant boulder.
No.
Still a couple of minutes to find him. Nice. Classic Escher.
How you turned my world, you precious thing. You've run so long, you've run so far. Oh, I do believe in you.
Oh, nice little reverse shot there. Now what's going on?
Everything that you wanted, I have done. You asked that the child be taken. I took him. I have turned the world upside down, and I have done it all for you.
There's some serious Vaseline on the lens for these.
Look what I'm offering you. Your dreams. Just fear me, love me, do as I say, and I will be your slave.
You have no power over me.
And we're back home.
Toby.
Yeah. But let's hope he's magically returned. Yep. All is good. So basically the lesson she learned is that the Goblin King is not the boss of her.
I'd like Lancelot to belong to you now.
And that her toys are all junk.
Goodbye, Sarah.
I need you. All of you.
You do? Well, why didn't you say so?
You remind me of the babe. Babe with the power.
What power?
Power of voodoo. You do. Remind me of the babe.
That was a lot of fun. And I can appreciate how much went into the making of a movie like that. As I mentioned early on in my reaction, I have worked on a Muppet movie. I did, back in my early days in the film industry, I was still a production assistant at the time. I was a PA on The Muppets Wizard of Oz, which was a made-for-television movie for ABC back in 2002, 2003. Jim Henson and Frank Oz had passed on by that point, but I got to work with the puppeteers and Muppeteers behind the classic TV Muppets. We had Kermit and Miss Piggy and Gonzo and Pepe the Prawn and Fozzie and all of them on our set for weeks and weeks and weeks. And the puppeteers are so dedicated to their craft and so into what they're doing that even between takes, even on breaks, they still have the puppets on, like, they're still in character as the puppets. So I would find myself at craft service grabbing a snack, having a conversation with Gonzo in character as the Tin Man. Surreal moments. But what you realize when you work on a movie, a Henson movie, is that everything has to be planned in advance. You don't just build a set and then figure out where your cameras are going to go on the day. Because the sets are raised, there has to be places to hide puppeteers for every shot, every angle. Everything is choreographed in advance. In that sense, it's very much like a 3D animated movie where everything is storyboarded in advance, plotted out, planned. And for a movie like this, with as much action and daring do in it as there were a lot of intricately designed sets and set pieces. And the other thing you have to remember is this is 1986. I don't think there was any true CG in that movie at all. There were camera tricks, there were in-camera visual effects, there was all sorts of post-processing, but nothing done with computers. It's all done with exposure on film, and it works. It doesn't feel real, but it doesn't need to, because it is inherently fantasy, and it's a lot of fun. It's, I was sort of counting, during the opening credits, all the people attached to this film, and it's a Lucasfilm production. I don't know how hands-on George Lucas was involved with this movie, but whether Lucas was directly involved or not, you've got Jim Henson, you've got David Bowie, you've got Frank Oz, you've got a script by Terry Jones of Monty Python. It's just 4 or 5 true artistic geniuses involved in the creation of this project. And I wish I knew how it was received in the day, because was this marketed as a kids movie? Was this marketed as something else? It feels like it would have been marketed as a kids movie. It feels like a kid story, except that it's trippy and weird and scary. And how successful was it? Accordingly, how was it received and reviewed? I'm very curious. The 80s were a fascinating time for movies because Star Wars changed everything. And no one expected Star Wars to be a huge hit. Never, but it blew up. It became this huge summer blockbuster. And its sequels, obviously, and the toys, and there was so much money made behind something that nobody saw coming. And so I think throughout the 80s, studios were looking for that next property out of nowhere that would turn into the next Star Wars. And maybe it wasn't science fiction, maybe it was fantasy, maybe it was something else. But I think studios were willing to experiment in hopes of hitting it big. And this feels like something like that, especially if you've got Lucasfilm attached and Henson and Oz, who were the creative geniuses behind Yoda and a bunch of other practical effects from the Star Wars movies. It feels like you're already halfway there, you know? So I can see why a project like this would get greenlit. But I do wonder what the audience is and who it was intended for. I can have a lot of fun watching it in this weird sort of proto-nostalgia. Like, it just reeks of the 80s, especially with the Bowie music breaking in every so often. And just a different style and energy of filmmaking that would be considered naive and corny today. But definitely sort of brings back all those emotions of my childhood. I'd love to hear what this movie meant to you, whether you were a kid when it came out, or whether it's something you discovered more recently. What your sense of it is, because I just don't think like a movie like this would ever get made again, especially today. It seems like such a unique vision, such a singular conglomeration of artistic visions, and I'm not sure it was fully realized and fully successful or not. I can't figure that out, but I can certainly appreciate, I think Henson's vision was realized. I think it was. I think this is what he wanted it to be. I'm just not sure if there was a market for that or not, if that makes sense. I purposely don't do any research on movies that I haven't seen now that I've started doing the reaction channel. I want to go in with a completely open mind. So I've done no research on this. I only know those few little things that I picked up just through the zeitgeist. And for a movie like this, that isn't too much. So yeah, I'd love to hear, whether this was a hit, whether it was a flop. It clearly didn't kill anybody's career. Henson and Bowie and everyone else attached to this. I met the puppeteers from this 15, 20 years later, and they were still going strong. But I had a lot of fun. I think that's ultimately what it boils down to, isn't it? That it was just fun, and you can't be judgmental when you're watching a movie like this. You can just sit back, enjoy the story, have fun with it, and laugh at the absurdity of it sometimes too. So in that regard, it 100% did what it was supposed to do. And I thank you guys for joining me today. I'd love to hear your thoughts and comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time, everybody, take care, stay healthy, and we'll see you soon. Cheers.